Well, hello, this is Pastor Macon. I am interested in talking to you about your kids today. These are some challenging times, some challenging moments, and kids are feeling all kinds of feelings and thinking all kinds of thoughts. And these are challenging times to be a parent, to be a part of a family, and even for our children. That means young children and teenage children. You know, it's especially challenging when you're talking about returning back to school because there's so many kids who are concerned about this, but they're not as concerned about this as parents and grandparents and also the church. Yes, we, the church, are very concerned about how these children are going to return back to school. I've talked to several superintendents, including the superintendent of Cleveland Public Schools. We've talked to the Bedford schools, the Twinsburg, the Macedonia, Nordonia schools. And so we're concerned about how should we help kids feel safe. How can we help our children feel safe and secure during all of this? And we're going to talk about some steps that are important to you and to us who care about our most precious, precious kids. One, you've got to monitor how much exposure your kids are having to the news. You cannot allow them to just continue looking at news because news is problematic today. We live in an exposed society that is giving out so much misinformation, and some have called it disinformation. You know, there's even these protests and these riots that have been, yes, peaceful. Many have not, though, and the media is showing all kinds of images of fires and looting and violence and what's going on in California, all the people getting sick. And so children do not have the emotional security to understand what they are seeing, and it can lead to fear, insecurity, and even sadness. And we don't want our kids to be in fear. We don't want them to walk around sad. We don't want them to worry because we're the adult. Secondly, talk with your kids. It's important to talk with children about what they are seeing and hearing, but in an age-appropriate way. Help them to understand what is happening, but talk to them with inside of their age. If they're teenager, talk as teenager. Little kids, talk as little kids. If you don't, they will try to fill in the blanks themselves and will become scary and frightened. And they will have these scary and frightened conclusions in their mind that will not be helpful or healthy to them or you. They may even think someone is coming to get them. That's right. They're going to believe, hey, somebody's out to get them. It's violence, so somebody's going to hurt them as well. Thirdly, as parents and leaders, we are called to walk through these times with our children and have the wisdom to help guide them through it. That's why we're called adults. And during these crazy times, we must check our children's emotional temperature and help them adjust it as needed. We check their temperature of their body, but what about their emotional temperature? Check it. Keep checking it. And then fourthly, be a safe place where kids can ask questions. You've got to allow them to ask questions. Find out what they are thinking and reassure them that you will keep them safe. They need to hear it time and time again. So let them know there is a great group of people that are working hard to keep everyone safe, the teachers, the schools, the principals, the superintendent, the people who clean the place up, even some volunteer parents talk about that. And then fifthly and lastly, stay positive. That is very, very important that you stay positive. And how do you stay positive? Using positive words. You'll be all right. We're here to protect you. We're going to take care of you. Don't worry. Everything's going to be all right. And so you build up upon those words and those phrases. Build upon one onto another. Empower your child through your actions also and display the fact that you feel safe. That's right, even when you don't. And so you've got to model the behavior you want to see your children show. You see, kids will pick up on how you are responding. If you're afraid, they're going to be afraid. If you feel secure, they're going to feel secure. So make sure you model what you want their response to be as well. So you want them to walk around confident. You want them trusting God. You want them believing everything is going to be all right. You want them to understand you don't need to panic. Everything is all right. We are here for you. Your family is here for you. Your community is here for you. Your church. And whatever you do, you tell them that Pastor Macon and Pastor Larry Jr. and Pastor Dan and Sister Macon and all the Macon family is with them as well. And if you need to, call the church. We have a prayer team here. And so we'll pray for you. We'll even talk to your kids one-on-one if they need, because that's why we're here. We're here to minister to you and your family because we love you. We're concerned about you. And we want you to start this new year off feeling in a certain kind of a way. I know it may be challenging. I know you're not sure. Call your school up. Ask your teacher, ask the principal, what in fact are they doing to make your school safe? In fact, ask your principal this question. How many nurses do they have? And if they don't have enough nurses, you go to them and you tell them that when you open up this school, we want X and X amount of nurses inside of our school, because if our kids get sick and there's more than one, nurses can only handle one at a time. You know, you go to the doctor right now. You have to stand on the outside of the building sometime. Sometimes you're standing in the hallway sometime to get in there because the doctor can only see one person at a time. Ask your school, what are the precautions that are being taken for kids who are contaminated or become sick or not well with this virus? That's very, very important. So you can tell your children, well, listen, you've got 10 nurses at the school. They all have different places that they can see you. And they have a doctor already ready in case I can't get there fast enough. And you're going to be fine. Ask them, what are they training their school counselors to tell kids when they are frightened and fearful and having, you know, all kinds of anxiety problems, you know, and kids have anxiety attack just like adults do, and parents. And so you want to make sure that your environment is safe. You want to see what that classroom looks like. Do they have any plastic around the seat? If they're 6 feet apart, you know, front, back, side, you know, how do they egress and regress and all of that kind of a thing, and progress even at the school. You must keep your kids feeling safe, because this is not going to last. Panics come and go. The earlier one was 100 years ago. We had N1, whatever it's called. We've always had these viruses, you know, SARS and all of that. So what you need to do is get them through this period and then raise them in the admonition of the Lord. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that he or she should go, that when they grow old, they will not depart from it. What am I saying? You teach your kids now, and it will be something that they will teach their kid too. And whatever you do, you take precaution. You take safe. And when you're feeling fearful, remember, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And Paul said, think on these things that are good. You walk around like that. Whatever you do, if you're married, secure your marriage. I have a YouTube on marriages and how to progress through marriages. You want to know that, because if you have a secure, safe, and argument-free marriage, then your kids are going to feel safer too. But if they see you around there arguing and fussing with each other, with your spouse and everything, they're going to say it's erotic, not only in the world, but it's erotic and it's messed up, erratic rather, all in our whole, it can be that too, but erratic. Okay, you know Pastor Macon. I'll make up words in a minute. Well, I guess I had better leave now. Listen, if you want to make your kids feel safe and secure, do what I did with my grandsons. I have a YouTube entitled Laugh with Pastor Macon, and I'm telling some funny jokes, and they're actually appropriate for kids. So you might want to laugh one Friday evening with Dr. Macon. God bless you. Hope you'll join us at church. Whatever you do, don't stop coming to church if you can. You can't come in on the inside at 8:30 or 11 o'clock. Bring your kids to church in the car. They're going to love it. And guess what? They're never going to forget the time when we went through a pandemic and they were in the backseat of the car having fun and playing with their little brother or older brother and sisters and all of that kind of a thing. It's an experience. It's one that I'm praying we don't have in the future, okay? And also we are giving out also kids messages. Pastor Larry and our staff and Pastor Dan is doing a great job in giving out vacation Bible school kinds of things that you and your kids can go over. Make sure you check with that. Whatever you do, subscribe right below and make sure you share this information and this video with at least 10 other people. If you do that, I know God's going to keep you safe and secure because you're already saved. God bless you. God be with you. Talk to you later.